Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Sorry I missed you on Thursday, folks. That was not a great day, Thursday. Alright. So, we've got a couple things to tackle today. Hey, thanks so much for following along, my friend. Glad to have you here. So we have more Javafx. Oh, no, it's still not loading. Look at that. It's broke. Just want it to load. I guess we can download. Let's see if that works. Maybe this will work for us here. And I should fire up NetBeans while I'm at it. Maybe here. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll fire up NetBeans here. So there's another IDE that is actually works a little nicer here than NetBeans that I've been playing with, and maybe we can take a look at that one too. And it turns out it is on the virtual machines. I didn't know that somehow. So we need to talk about more Javafx. We need to talk about Project 2. We're a tad behind, but I think it'll be okay. That won't be too big of a deal here for what we need to do. Right, now it won't be... Okay, there it goes. So more Javafx stuff, more out of Chapter 17, and then we'll get to some supplemental stuff on Thursday. And then we can move into databases. We won't start Project 3 next week. I think we'll wait a little bit on that one. I still want to start the final project or give it to you here in April so you have all month on it, but 3 might run a little bit into it. We'll see how well it goes. Okay. All right. So we had left off with our little Hello World, and that was the lab. I heard from a couple folks we're having some Javafx trouble, but I think most people got it working. I'm still behind on getting stuff graded, but I got through all of Project 0 except for one here I need to spend a little more time on. It's really easy. Okay, maybe not easy. So it's easier to score them when you get all the points. When you folks, it all works. If I have to give partial points, it's a little trickier because then I have to spend more time digging in and figuring out what parts do work and what parts don't work and that sort of thing. So we'll see how well that goes. So I don't know, I'll gotta get to the project ones. The labs, hopefully you feel pretty good about. But I wanted to focus on the projects and then the midterm for you. Hey Zombie, thanks for stopping by, my friend. Good to see you here. We're going to do some Java programming. We'll have a little bit of fun today. So for the lab, it looks like we got 16 of them in. Just the test to make sure we got Javafx up and running and everything was going to work for us. So we actually then get to the next project. So that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to pull up Project 2 here. So we'll do, yeah, I think, so if we do 2 weeks for that, what does that put us out to? The 29th? Not great. Do you think we could do to the 24th? So like a week and a half? We'll do a little less than what we had in mind before, if that's all right. Well, let's try and do this by the 24th. Here, so like a week and a half or so to get going on this one. And I need to remember how many points those were. So this is project 2. This is our Javafx. Let's see, how many points was the other one? Oh, we need a classroom to do. Link. Yeah, I just don't want, if we get too far into that month of April, then we'll have less time for the final project. Let's put it for the 24th, and if it's not, if it looks like we're not going to hit it, then we can push it out a little bit if we need to. And I think that'll work, because then I could do project 3 on the 24th, and then we could have that till like 4/7, and we don't have a lot of overlap. Okay, so how about we have it do the 29th, but we'll start project 3 on the 24th. Is that okay? So we might have a little bit overlap with project 2 and 3. I think, will that work out okay? Oh, here, I can close this one here too. Don't need that one. That'll help. Let's do that. So you've got the time on it here. Okay, cool. So 2151, winter 2022, project 2. And this one won't be quite as intense. College Java template. Here we go. All right, copy that. Submit the feedback, pull request, and a self-assessment using the rubric. So if you do these self-assessments, it makes scoring things a lot easier, and then it's your last chance to make sure you're getting all the points per the rubric here as we go, which is also nice for you folks. Go grab this here. I want to see how many points the previous projects were worth. Make sure we're doing the right number of points here. Let's see, so it was 8 and 12. Okay, so I think we'll probably just be 12 more points. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of it here we need to do. Right? Yeah, I think that'll work. Okay. So we're going to create a GUI, play our, what do we call it? I can't remember what the name of the, what was our game? Animal Craft? Is that what we called it? Our silly little game? Oh, it's in no category still. So we gotta fix the category. There it goes. What do we call our game? Animal Craft. Yeah, it was Animal Craft. Okay, Animal Craft. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit here. So a GUI, and we're also going to option to save and load the game. So the saving and loading, right, we want to take advantage of that serializable interface, and then we can serialize essentially the player class. And if everything all the way through becomes serializable, we can just save it, everything out to disk, because player will have their island will have the spaces will have the tools, that sort of thing. And if all of our classes are serializable, we can save it all to disk with basically one write. It's pretty quick. And then we can go load it after the fact. So we're going to have options to save and load a game. We'll have buttons for navigating the island, right? Like the up, down, left, right, up, down, left, right, that are enabled or disabled. If we can go there or not. We'll have the, each space, we'll have our list of tools. Tools displayed. Or, I don't know, display the list of tools, I guess. Display tools. User has somewhere. Have buttons for chop, dig, build, enable, disable, stun if they can, and then display the space description on the screen. Okay, so that ought to be pretty good 12 points here as we go. So saving and loading will make up we'll say like 4 points of that. Navigating will be 4 points, and then maybe not quite 4. Yeah, one for each. One for each here, and then our tools in space. Okay, we can do this. So we'll add out a rubric here for project 2. All right. So no points if it's missing. 2 points if it's complete. Yeah, it could be worth more than 12 actually. If we go a little further than that. Let's do that. So then we will have save and load option. We'll have the navigation up, down, left, right. We'll have dig, chop, build buttons. And then we'll have, we'll like the 16 total. List of tools and space description displayed on the screen. Okay. Let's put us out to a nice even 16. Did I miss anything? So saving and loading, navigating our island, a list of tools, display our buttons for interacting with the faces, and then the space description itself, and let us kind of navigate around. So kind of build out on this. Again, it's not going to be a very interesting game here, but we can at least go and explore. Right, so a new game, right, or start a new game, I guess we should say. So when it starts, hey, do you want to save, or do you want to load a game, or do you want to start a new game, and then we should be able to save our game as we go. Okay, so let's do that one. This should be some fun practice with the Javafx stuff. All right, hey, it loaded. Look at that. Let's close that one down. And let's, do you mind if we try this Intellij tool instead of NetBeans here? You're welcome to use NetBeans to follow the process, but I think the Intellij tool is going to be a little nicer for us here. So this is Intellij's idea. I need to switch back to the community version here. I was trying the educational one just to see if there's anything worthwhile in it, but the community one is just as good. So it's Intellij Community Edition. Community. And this actually is installed on the virtual machines, I found out. It's super cool. Really? That's neat. They have their source code out there. Well, that's kind of fun. So this is the IntelliJ IDEA tool for them, which is fun. So this one's been nicer. Okay, he's got that in his Udemy course. Sweet. Yeah, it's been working a lot. NetBeans is just particular. It's a little funky. So we'll see. We'll see how well it works. And if you want to stick with NetBeans, great. It'll definitely work. But if you want to move over to this one, it should actually work a little nicer for us. I'll show you in just a second. Because remember, we had that whole funny process of things. We don't actually need to load that one. Come on. Yep, I'll look at these tips later. All right, so I'm going to start up a new project. Maybe I'm going to start up a new project. New project. Okay, we'll just do now this one you can pick a Javafx project, which is super cool. So I'm going to put this in our 2151, 2022 folder, and then what do we want to call this one? This is more Javafx. How about that? And it knows where our OpenJDK is. So if it doesn't show it, you can add your JDK and you can go point it to the OpenJDK. We'll go next. Don't need any of these dependencies right now. That's all some fancier things we're going to do. And I'm going to open this window, and it should give me some really helpful starter code, which was much nicer than what we were getting in NetBeans. Look at that. This thing is amazing. Yeah, so it's just giving us better starter code here, and then we're not actually going to have to do as much of the additional adding library stuff. It all just sort of works, which is pretty cool. So we get our hello application here, which is our first one. This then has all the same stuff that we were doing before. We had copy pasted into start, and it already has all the imports for us, which is super cool. So we don't need to go through and say, hey, my class will extend application, and then this Fxml loader finding our hello, whatever we want to call it, Fxml file here. So it just gives us a quicker starting point, I think, than what we had to do in NetBeans. Excuse me. We didn't use any of the dependencies. Yep, and then it should, when we go run this one here, let's, that's right, we gotta build it. See if it builds. Thinking about it. And then it should run our hello application. See if it runs. I was pretty excited. It just sort of worked a little easier. Let's see. Let's think about it. And there we go. We get the hello application. Look at that, like the hello world essentially out of box. I was pretty excited. So if you want to try flipping over to IntelliJ, great. If you want to stick with NetBeans, that'll totally work too. We just need to follow those steps like we did last week to do all the copy pasting stuff is all. Then our link should we want to open this with Scene Builder. How did I do that one? It was working for me before. Let's see. Open in Scene Builder. There we go. So if I go to my Fxml file, I can say open in Scene Builder, and it's going to launch Scene Builder for me. I think Scene Builder is just a little slow. There it goes. And we can play around with our program here in Scene Builder. And we got the label. And the label's going to have this ID here in code that we can reference. It's the, oh my goodness, welcome text here. Right, and then the button has the on hello button click event handler here. So then in our hello controller code, right, we have this button for clicking here. Ooh, that's okay. That's a little bit ugly, but that's okay. We'll make that work. And it sets the text here. And nothing super interesting right out of the box, but it's there here. And so the only thing that I don't like about it necessarily is this hello view is just a vertical box. I find it to be a little easier to work with the anchor panes rather than the vertical box. Right, so the actual, like the type here is just a vertical box. It's a container here rather than an anchor pane being the root. But it's okay. It'll definitely work. So I'm actually just going to delete the vertical box because, yeah, we'll delete it. And then we'll drag an anchor pane in ourselves. And now we've got the anchor pane. Now we can do some fun things with it again. And now I can drag some buttons in and do those sorts of things. So those are in our controls, not the containers. And then we can put some buttons for things here. So I'll drag a couple buttons in. Button. Sure. And if we want to interact with our buttons, they need FX IDs. So we'll call this the up button. We'll have this be the right button. We'll have this be the down button. We'll have this be the left button. Okay, and then we need to go change their text. So that's in the properties section. So this is for up. This is for right. This is for down. And this is for left. Of course, now the whole spacing gets a little funny because they have different text. But close enough, okay? If we want them to do things, right, now we need to go give them event handlers, so the on actions. So what do we want to do? So this will be the up button clicked. This will be the right button clicked. This will be the down button clicked. And this will be the left button clicked. Okay, and I'm going to make sure you save it here, right? Either file save or give it Control S save here. Now we need to go update our controller. Where did that one go here? Oh, goodness. Update. Sorry, I'm still figuring this one out. Oh, let's see. It means, or no, Intellij Javafx update controller. Ah. Okay, looks like we need the plugin. Interesting. I thought we had it there. That's fun. So you can actually do it too without going through all the plugins. So in Scene Builder, if you go to View, you do the Oh, view. Preview. Not sample data. No, that's not sample data. Yeah, that's show sample controller skeleton. That's what I wanted. So under view, the show sample controller skeleton shows you, hey, this is the controller here. So you can just copy this out. Into here. Into your controller. Oh, at least looks like we need some imports here. So let's go add an import. Yes, add the import. Alt, there we go. Import the class for button. And import the class for action event. Did we have that before? Import the class. Okay. Getting closer now? All right, there we go. Let's see now if our methods aren't going to do anything yet, but let's see if it runs, if that loads it up okay for us. Oh, goodness. Nope, we broke it. What did we do wrong here? No controller specified. I ain't no controller specified. You break our Fxml? We did. We broke it. Wow, we really did. Okay, that's all right. So we'll go back to Scene Builder, and we can fix that up here. We can fix that up. That's probably why we didn't have the option there. That makes more sense. So we need to set the controller, the layout. Here's our controller. All right, I thought this was going to be easier than using it in NetBeans. Style sheets. It's in here. It's in here. Where is it? My goodness. Okay, let's see. Let's just see if we can add a new Fxml file. How about hello? Here we go. Okay, yeah, so it's giving us the hello controller. Here will be our controller for it. There we go. And we'll just take all these children out. Drop them in here. And then we want to go in our program here. Let's go just find hello.fxml instead of the hello view. I think we could have updated view to have that here, but I don't see it. One of these attributes. That's okay. So you can tell it where that controller is. This will work. This will work. We'll get rid of the hello view. All right, let's give this one a run. Oh, we don't need. Oh yeah, the title's fine. Let's give this a run. There we go. Oh, our window's not large enough here. Oh yeah, we don't want to give it those sizes there. We just want to load it. All right, so it'll run with buttons. So now the buttons need to do something. right? So what we can do with buttons is you can set them enabled or disabled. So I can say, hey, the down button dot, and that's it. You can set disabled, and you tell it true or false. So let's say, hey, if you click the down button, let's set disabled for the down button to true, so it can't be clicked again. But then the other buttons now, let's set down to enabled, I'm sorry, disabled of false. So not disabled is enabled here. And we'll do that for each of these here. So we'll do the left button, set disabled, we'll say is true. So for each of the buttons, we'll make them disable itself. Right button, disabled, or set disabled, true. And then for the up button, set disabled, it's true. And now your Fxml controller is just code. We can add more code in here. So I'm going to say, let's do a private void enable all buttons, or enable, yeah. Because I want to not have to do the same code more than once. So instead of doing setting the down enabled in all of these here, right? Let's say, let's set down. Oh, was it a little buggy? Okay. Sorry about that, Shady. It gets a little funky sometimes. Oh, buttons, there we go. It knows we were spelling. We'll take the up button, set disabled to false. We'll take the down, we'll take the left, set disabled, false. And then we'll take the right button, set disabled to false. So this will enable all of them here. So if we enable all the buttons first, then we can set a specific one disabled each time. So this way when you click a button, I'll turn on all the buttons and turn off your button. Let's give that one a run. See what we get. There. So if I click up, then it turns off the up button. Now I can't click up again. When I click right, it turns back on the other ones. Right, so each time when you click a button, it turns off its own. So again, this is not exactly what we want to have happen in the game here, but you can see you can turn buttons on and off, right, by setting that property. Does that make sense? So you can do this set disabled true or false if you want the button to be on or off. Okay? Now, you might be wondering how you would track your game, right? Because how does the game stay around here? So what we need to have in our controller is that initialize. Where is it? I don't even have it initialize. Goodness. Why don't we have an initialize method? That's okay. We'll add our initialize method. Public void initialize. Think it's initialize? That's what we want? No, initialize. Not initialize. Give it 1 second. Let's go find out. What is that method that we want here? We had it in ours. Aha, this one. Yes, we want to, so override the initialize. That's what we want to do here. It is called initialize. We just need the override. In the controller, right? Aha, you have to implement the interface. Yes. Did we implement the interface? We did. Oh, I need to add more imports is why. Alt-Enter, Alt-Enter. Import, import. Okay, now it's happy with this. So now we can use this initialize. So initialize is essentially the constructor here, but once we've initialized, then we'll actually have the button. So the difference between a constructor here and the initialize is none of these Fxml items actually exist. Notice there's no place where in our code we say, hey, this button equals a new button. So if I try and reference that button inside of a constructor method, it's not going to exist. It'll say, hey, that's a null reference exception. But in initialize, then we should be able to do some stuff with it. So I think we can enable all the buttons here in initialize, and it should work. Let's make sure that works here. Yep, awesome. So we want to use this as really essentially like a constructor. It runs after all the JavaFX stuff has been created. So it's safe to interact with your buttons here. Essentially, I can't spell today, folks. It's just not working. So like if we tried to do a constructor for our hello controller, nothing wrong with that. We totally can here. But if I try and take my buttons, like set disabled, like turn one off or something here, it's not going to work. Come on. There we go. Right, and we get, whoa, wait, what, ugly. Can't invoke this because this button is null. Hey, Professor Burp, thanks for coming on by. Appreciate it, my friend. Working on JavaFX today. Right, so you can't access them in a regular controller here. So we're just going to ignore that. So we're going to use this initialize method where we have access to them. Now in here, this is where we can go add some other stuff. So let's go add another class. So let's add a new class for, I don't know, coffee. Why not? You can turn that off. Private int for mug size in milliliters, and a private int for current coffee in milliliters. So it's just something, sure. It doesn't really matter too much here. And then we're going to go, so this one doesn't have insert code, it has generate here. So we're going to generate some code. We'll generate some getters and setters for both of these. And then you have to control click these. There's no checkboxes, which is a little weird. Nice, okay. Yeah, JavaFX is a lot of fun. So then we'll get our methods here, and then we want to do our constructor. So we'll go generate again, generate a constructor where we want both of those be properties. So you can give me some values. Again, we should do some other sanity checking, but that's not the point right now. So then in our controller then, I can say, hey, I want a coffee. So private coffee. And then the initialize here, I can make that coffee. I can say coffee equals a new coffee. And then I can say, hey, it's 100 mug size milliliters, 250 milliliters, and current. I'm almost out, so I've got like maybe 50 milliliters left. And now you can see this is one of my favorite things about Intellij. It's telling me what the attributes are that I'm setting in the constructor here. I love it. Right? I don't have to go back and look at which one was which here. So it's got a lot of these like nice little features here. Right, and then anytime we click a button, so maybe when we do down, let's say, let's take our coffee.set current coffee in milliliters to the coffee.get current coffee in milliliters minus minus. Or minus one, right? Yeah, minus one. So take away a milliliter. Just on that coffee attribute. And then when we click up, let's take our coffee and let's go maybe +1. Let's go like fill this thing. And then when we enable all buttons, let's go back to our Fxml and scene builder. Let's add a label. I'll just throw this in the middle here. Why not? Give it, we don't need any text to start. And then we'll give it a ID here. So here's our coffee label. Okay, we got a coffee label. Now it doesn't exist, so we need to go view that controller skeleton. We'll grab that. So this one, that other plugin might make life a little easier, so you don't have to go do all this stuff here. But it's not too bad to copy paste things in. We'll say, so every time we mess with our buttons here, let's take our coffee label, and we're going to set text to coffee currently, or we'll just say coffee. Coffee.get current coffee in milliliters. Okay, so let's see if we can now interact with this object that we've created. So we can create the object in essentially the initialize. Again, it doesn't. You could do this one in a constructor, but we're using this like the constructor anyway, so it should be fine. And then we can, anytime we click our buttons, we go and do something with that or update the text here of our labels. Uh-oh. Because this coffee is null. Oh, I gotta create the coffee first. It was null because my enable buttons was trying to set the text, but coffee didn't exist yet. I do it in the right order. You need a dad joke, my friend? You got it. So, oh, my backpack's downstairs. I forgot to grab it. When does a joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent. Oh, goodness. This coffee label is null. My coffee label. No, come on. We have my coffee label here. All right, friends. It's unhappy with us. Let's see. Why is it unhappy with us? We should have all of these here. Coffee label. Coffee label. Should exist. It's initializing. Wonder if we messed it up here. Oh, I never saved it. I didn't. Did I not save it? Maybe I saved it. Make sure it actually exists in our hello. Nope, it doesn't. What did I do? I put it in the wrong one, friends. We had the wrong one open here. That's why. That is why. Okay, this is what I get for having too many of these things. I thought I deleted that one. Oh, because when it was open there, sure, don't save. It doesn't matter. It recreated it here. No wonder that was weird that that came back. Okay, so here's the hello one. We want to open in Scene Builder, add our coffee label. Mystery solved. Mystery solved. Typo in Word Javafx. Nice. Okay, now it looks happier. Look at that. Now we have 50, and every time I go up, oh, right, left, up. Oh, we're doing it in the wrong order. Let's see. So we are enabling all the buttons. So we need to change the coffee before we do the buttons here. Because our enable all the coffee buttons is also updating the text here. All right, our method's probably doing too many things that it shouldn't necessarily be doing here. Oops. Sorry, that's a little loud. Okay, so let's try that one more time. We'll stop. Give that a run. And let's see if this is going to work for us here. So we could make our own, we can add all the game classes here, and we can initialize, right, set up the new player, or possibly go load a player, right? We could have some options for that as well. Now, okay, down, up, down, down. Let's go drink that coffee. One milliliter at a time here. If you run out of coffees, game over. Game over. Don't run out of coffees. Right, but just we can interact with that object now that gets created in our initialize here, essentially like our constructor. So we can do that same sort of idea here, which is really fun. Okay. Other cool things we can do here. You can add a menu. And you can add menu items to do certain things. Right? A menu is really fun. Where do we add our menu? Maybe I can't add the menu. I thought we could add the menu. No, doesn't want me to add the menu. Menu item? Ah, forget it. It was going to be so cool. We can just add buttons too. Do I need... I must need a place to put it. Put an anchor pane? Or border pane? Let's see. Maybe I can do it in here. We add... No? Really? Just want to add a menu. That's okay. Ah. So the title pane, is that what we want here? One way we can do this. Nah, that's going to be ugly too, isn't it? That one's no fun. I just wanted like pretty save and load buttons here, but this is okay. We can just use regular buttons too for save and load. It's no big deal. We'll get rid of the border pane. So when we go and load a game, right, all we need to do is set this coffee to a new coffee. Right, and to save the coffee, just go save our coffee. And this sort of idea, this can implement serializable, implements serializable, right? And then add that import. Come on, it doesn't give you the light bulb. He wants you to do this Alt-Enter. I want to show the actions here. I'll import the class. Okay, so then we can go add some more buttons for save and load if we wanted. Let's do, this will be save, and this will be load. So on action then, we should have this be the save button clicked. This will be the load button clicked. Now you don't have to get fancy and like ask them where they want to save it. We can just have a single file there. That'll be fine here. So let's go view our controller skeleton, grab our buttons here. So we added new. Oh, so they're not here because we never referenced them. We just have the event handlers, our save and load buttons here. We have a save button we can add to our controller. Then we have the load button we can add. Okay. So if we want to save then, I can do all of the things we were going to do to serialize that. So let's go find our, where were we doing that one? I think we were doing that on the midterm review, right? We looked at that one. Here's our, what do we call that one? That was in the lab, right? Was that the, yeah. When we added the file IO to it, there we go. So we can do this try. Oh, look at that, we even used, we used an item where it was essentially a coffee. So when we save our button here, let's go add some imports. Yes, add some imports, import the class. import the class, Alt-Enter, import the class. We're going to write our coffee object here. This will be our, I don't know, let's save.bin, sure. Alt-Enter, yes, import the class. Okay. So it goes and saves them here. And then for loading, right, we essentially do this one here. You can go load it. Hey, thanks so much for following along, my friend. Again, sure, let's just import star, because that's really kind of annoying. How about star, io.star will import everything for us. And then this is now the coffee class. We're going to cast it as a type of coffee from our save.bin. We'll go load it here, and we don't need to then go reset item here. We just want to say, hey, coffee equals, right, our existing coffee attribute here, and there's nothing to print either. So we'll go and load it here and set our coffee. And so then after we load, we read our coffee, we want to update all labels. Or what was it? What was our function here? Enable all buttons? Sure. Maybe we wanted this to be a separate function here, but this is okay for now. Right? It's going to be just a little weird. We can save it to a file and then go load it from a file here, and we just update our object. And then we update all of our labels. Let's give it a shot. Okay, so we'll go down a little bit, make the coffee. Okay, so let's save coffee here at 47. And now let's change our coffee a little bit up, change the coffee up. And we'll go load it here, put this back to 47. Because we went and loaded it from that binary file. Right? We've changed the value of that coffee attribute that we have. So save and load. Again, menus are really nice and pretty, but they're not doing what I want them to do at the moment, so we can go back to that later. Something like that, okay? How are you folks feeling? You think we have enough to get started with that project now? Then we can turn our buttons on and off. We can save and load. Right, updating the labels, our list of tools. We just need to go through and get all the names out and update a label somewhere. So if we have all those attributes available, we can go do these certain things with us here, right? Turn the buttons on and off if we can, that sort of thing. So just want you to practice here with Javafx. So our final project and the next project will also be Javafx projects. So we just want to get familiar with them here. So the actual game part is not quite as important as just playing around with Javafx here, okay? Questions, thoughts, concerns? Feeling okay? All right, so we'll have the rest of today to get started on working on this here. None here yet, yeah. So I wasn't planning on a lab for this stuff yet. We need to do a little bit more. When we wrap up Javafx, the rest of the supplemental stuff on Thursday, we'll do a lab. We haven't really done a whole lot of new things yet, and I think all of these you can start practicing right away in here. So no lab if that's okay. We'll do a lab on Thursday. But I want you to get started on the project, especially since our timeline's a little bit tighter. So since I missed you folks on Thursday, apologies for that. And I think I forgot to post in D2L. I woke up and my head was real bad. When you get those migraines from the sinus pressure, congestion, cold stuff, you really don't want to be staring at a bright screen here, even with dark mode on. Dark mode can only save you so much. So apologies for that, but I think I only posted in Discord, but hopefully you folks got the message there. So apologies for that. Here, so let's go commit all this to GitHub here, and we can go from there. Come on. Okay, cool. Appreciate it, Shady. And then I'm still plugging away at getting caught up on the grading stuff here. Apologies for the delays. It's been a weird weird time, and it's still weird that this conflict is dragging on, and it's no fun. It's no fun. Wow, look at all those files. Sure. Why not? Here's more Javafx. All right. Awesome, folks. So if you run anything, let me know. Let me know what I can do to help. If not, we'll call it a day. We can get to work here then. I'll see you folks on Thursday. See you, everybody.